Okay, the Dokkan Fest Vegeta's banner is officially out on Global and on JP. So because of that, not only have we been able to go ahead and see how Vegeta actually performs, we've also been able to go ahead and see what his banner actually has to offer. So to that end, I think it's important we address the elephant in the room. Should you summon? 3 simple words, 1 simple phrase, but a very important question, because obviously for Global and for JP, this is the first Dokkan Fest banner where we're actually synced up, but also it is the first Dokkan Fest banner coming off of the Worldwide Celebration campaign, and obviously for both sides of the game, players were spending a lot of stones chasing after the Part 1 and Part 2 LRs from the celebration. So to that end, I think it's important we go ahead and talk about, is this Vegeta's banner a banner worth chasing after, a banner worth summoning on, and everything in that regard. So how I'm going to do this is pretty simple and pretty straightforward, right? I have other kind of information here on the banner, what it has to offer, as well as how the banner is kind of designed, and also a new pity system that's being introduced with this Dokkan Fest banner to give us all a guaranteed potential copy of the new Dokkan Fest Vegeta. So we have a couple things to talk about, but the first thing to kind of cover is obviously what the banner has to offer. If you're going to choose to summon on a banner, you need to know what is in the banner that you're trying to summon on, right? So obviously, this is of course the Dokkan Fest Vegeta's banner. Vegeta, by the way, looking a bit like a psychopath there. But in terms of what he has to offer, we see 10 featured SSRs, right? So obviously the new Dokkan Fest right here, the side banner Kui, these two we already kind of expected, so that was nothing kind of crazy right there. Tech Same-Day Vegeta. This is actually a good W for the banner, because Tech Same-Day Vegeta, obviously he came out in March earlier this year. He has not been back up until this point. This is the first banner where he's actually back into the game. So to see him again here, that is obviously a nice kind of W right there for the banner in terms of value. But also, I will say, for Vegeta, he has aged since his release, right? Obviously, there have been some things to help him, like, the trios being out. They obviously support Super Saiyans, which Tech Vegeta is a part of. But still, at the same time, Vegeta has aged a fair amount, I would say, to the point where he's not exactly what he once was at the time when he released. So we have to look at him with a bit of a grain of salt, I guess, in that sort of regard. Also, we do have the AGL Android 21, so we have her. I tried to do the meme, but that did not work out. But we have 21 here. She obviously is the end of November Dokkan Fest from last year. She is definitely not a great unit necessarily anymore. I mean, she's alright. I'll give her props here and there. But, a lot of the teams that she leads, a lot of the teams that she can fit on, you don't necessarily want to run her on those teams anymore because there are a lot of better options. So, can you take her? Yeah, but she's not really something you would kind of go out of your way for unless you're just a big 21 fan. So that's what I'll say there. Turles, another character, not that great anymore. Of course, he's over a year old now, so he definitely is not that great anymore in terms of meta shifts and everything. Same thing can be said for the Super Saiyan Blue Goku, of course, from the Resurrection of F movie. He will exchange into Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. He is not that great anymore either. We should expect his EZA sometime next year, but until that EZA comes, he is not like that. I'm sad to say it because I think the animations from this character and the moments are pretty cool, but still, he's not like that. And, I mean, it's just simple as that. Aside from that, STR Super Vegeta is on this banner, so obviously they are kind of leaning into the Vegetas, of course, and STR Super Vegeta is actually a pretty decent pick. He's not that crazy great, but, he did get his EZA during the same-day celebration. He was getting a lot of value from that, and also, I mean, he is getting better with some of the other teams that he can fit on, so to that point, he is a unit that you would be very happy to have at this point in time, I would say. Even though he's not, by any stretch of the imagination, the best unit or anything close to that, I think he's a good unit that you can definitely take advantage of at this point in time. So I'll give him a bit of a nod in that sort of direction. Also, STR Namagoku, right? Namagoku does do the giant spirit bomb, or the large spirit bomb, I guess, depending on how you call it. But also, he transforms into Super Saiyan Goku. He already had his EZA out, so we are, I guess, waiting for his Super EZA somewhere down the line. But he is just not good anymore. Let me just say that. I love Super Saiyan Gokus, but this Goku is not that great anymore. His EZA is old. He is old. It just is what it is. There's no two ways around it. Also, same can be said for the physical transforming Vegeta, right? Obviously, he starts off in base form, but when you awaken him, he'll be in a Super Saiyan form going all the way to the Super Saiyan Blue transformation. So, he's actually a pretty decent unit, I will say that, in terms of fitting a bunch of different categories because of all the transformations and whatnot. He's decent for fitting a bunch of different options as well. I believe he leads Pure Saiyans, if I remember correctly, so those are positives when it comes to Vegeta. But still, he himself, he is not that great. I have to say it again. He is not that great. We're talking about all the units that are not great. 21, not great. Turles, not great. Super Saiyan Blue Goku, not great. Nameku, not great. Transforming Vegeta, not great. That is 5 out of the 10 featured SSRs already not great. And obviously we didn't finish off here, but we still have to talk about Full Power Frieza. And maybe at first kind of glance you may say, well, this guy's not great. He's so old, his EZA is old. And that is true. He is old and his EZA is old. However, he is getting a Super EZA in case you guys have not noticed, right? His Super EZA is set to come out in about 4 days or so. So once that Super EZA comes out, then he will be far better, and obviously he will be able to adjust to the current meta in some sort of direction and ability. So in that sort of regard, I will actually say the Frieza is also a good unit on this banner. Now, do I think you really need to chase after Frieza on this banner? I don't think so, but I mean, if we're trying to talk about who are the good units on the banner and all that stuff, we have to give props where they're due, right? So of course, you know, the Dokkan Fest Vegeta, he's good. Kui is going to be good as well. I mean, Texan to Vegeta, even though he's aging a bit, I would say, compared to when he was released, I think he's still pretty good as well. Same thing could be said for the SR Super Vegeta, and of course, full power Frieza. So, you know, we talked about 5 out of 10 being bad. That, of course, does mean 5 out of 10 of the featured SSRs are good. But, you know, when you talk about summoning on a banner, especially coming off of the Worldwide Celebration campaign, having a 50-50 in terms of like, okay, these are good SSRs, these are bad SSRs, that kind of sucks. That really does suck, especially because, you know, there are animations that tell you, hey, you're getting a featured unit, and it could be 1 out of 10 of these characters, so you don't necessarily have the best guaranteed chance of getting the Dokkan Fest Vegeta, because there are 9 other featured SSRs aside from him on the banner. So, I mean, we gotta be honest about this stuff. The banner is not that great in terms of what it has to offer. It's got some nice things, but yeah, it's not that great. But aside from what the banner has to offer, there is a new kind of setup for how the banner is working, and that's something we do want to talk about as well. So, obviously, they do have the banner kind of explanation here, what Vegeta can do, obviously leading Planet Namek Saga, all of that good stuff, right? But also, they mention right here, up to the 21st multi-summon on the banner itself, you're guaranteed to recruit a featured SSR character for every 3 multi-summons performed. So let's just do the simple math, right? So every 3 multi-summons, you're getting 1 of the featured SSRs, obviously these 10 featured SSRs right here. So that's a guaranteed copy already within 3 multi-summons. 21 multi-summons, which means you at minimum will be getting 7 featured SSR characters, assuming you do 21 multi-summons. So that is something that can be kind of helpful, obviously, for players who are trying to summon on banners and stuff for characters you like. If you get a guaranteed featured SSR within every 3 multi-summons, that can be kind of helpful. But obviously, this is up to the 21st multi-summon, so only 7 featured SSRs guaranteed can you get from this whole kind of system. So obviously, I believe they say it's somewhere down here if I can go ahead and find it. Here we go. So they talk about the 21st multi-summon again. Please note, starting from the 22nd multi-summon, the 10th character is guaranteed to be an SSR, which is how we typically see banners work, but it's not necessarily a featured SSR character. So you can take advantage of that featured SSR kind of a mechanic up to that 21st multi, and then afterwards it's just a bog standard kind of summon once again. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, nothing special in that sort of regard. So we do have to talk about that in terms of what it has to offer. But also, I mean, you know, you see right here, they are kind of changing the system to kind of reflect the whole featured SSR kind of system, right? So they do a 2 available, then 1 available / 1 available with the featured SSR guaranteed kind of setup. So every single summon requires stones. They even say it right here, you cannot perform a free multi-summon in this summon event. So while you may look at the banner and it says 2 available, that does not mean that it's a buy 2, get 1 free, right? It's just buy 2 for a regular kind of multi, then get 1 for a featured multi or something special like that. That's all that they are saying right there. So that's just how they're trying to make sure to differentiate and clarify how the banner works, I guess. But yeah, it does suck that this is not a free kind of banner system, of course, because that would have made this a lot better in terms of value, in terms of considering trying to chase after Vegeta and whatnot. Obviously, having to spend stones for, you know, the pulls and everything, it's gonna suck, especially after Worldwide Celebration. I keep talking about it, but that is the pressing kind of issue for a lot of players, myself included. I am personally broke. I don't know about you guys, but I do not have the Dragon Stones anymore to consider summoning on Vegeta, even though I think he's pretty cool. Also, I mean, we have to talk about what else they're offering. They are having some shops available, some packs available for Dokkan Fest tickets, which you can use to summon on the banner itself. So, I mean, obviously for people who are spending on the game and they wish to consider buying these packs, that is something worth considering, even if it's maybe not the best value and everything. You have to look at the value and decide if it's right for you, of course, because I have not seen it myself. But obviously they are kind of trying to incentivize players to consider buying the pack to have more opportunities to summon for Vegeta, of course. So they are trying to work their magic in that sort of regard. But that's just basically how the banner works. There's nothing too special. The only other thing really that is really worth talking about really is the pity system. Obviously, I have the Baba Shop pulled up here. They are introducing a new green coin for the current Dokkan Fest banner, which is of course for Vegeta. And the way it works is basically for every 5 Dragon Stones that you use, right here, for every 5 Dragon Stones consumed, you get 1 of those limited Dokkan Festival coins. Now, when you get 200 of them, you are then able to get a guaranteed copy of the new Vegeta in the Baba Shop store. So Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I mean, you just get those 200. You can only get one copy, though. That's the thing. You obviously see right here, there's an unlimited count right here for the red kind of Dokkan Fest coins, which are the regular kind of traditional permanent Dokkan Fest coins. But you can only get one guaranteed copy of Vegeta. The rest of it is all down to your luck. So that is nice that they're adding a pity system. They're going to keep this going towards the future, which is something I'm a big fan of. However, I do have a couple kind of gripes with it. For one, I wish it wasn't just only one guaranteed copy. Maybe I'm being a bit unfair in that sort of kind of perspective, but the idea that you can only get one copy of Vegeta is kind of sucky. I wish it was like at most 3. That way you can get the 79%. That way you can kind of get the full build unlocked. But I mean, one copy is still better than 0. So I will, kind of accept the glass half full kind of approach right there. Also, the other thing that I really do have a problem with is the price of it. 200 coins, that may not seem like a lot in terms of on its own kind of value, but think about this in terms of the math, right? 5 stones for 1 coin. To get 200 coins, right, 200 times 5, you have to spend 1,000 Dragon Stones. 1,000 Dragon Stones just to get one guaranteed copy of Vegeta. That's how much you have to spend, and again, a lot of us don't have that available in the banks, so, I mean, that is a problem for me. I mean, if I'm going to criticize the pity system on this, I will say this as well. For one, again, I wish they increased the amount to like 3 for the Vegeta copies that you can get. But also, I wish they maybe reduced the price. Maybe like 150 or 100. Obviously, 100, you still have to spend 500 Dragon Stones on a banner like this, which is 5 out of 10 decent featured SSRs. So, I would hope that they reduce the pity system cost. Maybe let me put it that way, because that would make things a bit more easier to kind of accept and to swallow, I guess, in terms of like all the high costs and everything you have to put in for the banner. But, at the same time, it is what it is. This is the system they have, so we have to look at it for what it is. Now, to that end, to kind of answer the broad question of should you summon, for me personally, I'm going to say I am not summoning on this banner. I do not think anyone should summon on this banner. If you spend money or if you don't spend money, it doesn't really matter. I just don't think this is a banner that has the best kind of value for all of us, really. Obviously, we came off fantastic banners with the Worldwide Celebration campaign banners, and naturally, they're supposed to be pretty good. But this banner, it could have been a fair bit better, in my opinion. They could have maybe added Ginyu. I would have actually taken Ginyu over something like the STR Namek Goku, to be frankly honest. But I mean, it is what it is. That's the banner they got. So when it comes to what they're offering and everything, I just don't think this is a banner that's worth summoning on for any sort of player. Now, I will admit, I mean, there are players who are still going to summon for this. Of course, people who can afford to do so, people who just want to summon for the sake of pulling their favorite GOAT, Dokkan Fest, Dirty Fireworks Vegeta. To those kind of players, I accept that you guys want to summon for it, and I encourage you to do what makes you happy at the end of the day, right? Enjoy the game, because that's what matters most. But when it comes to like trying to be practical about it in terms of the approach and everything, trying to be quote-unquote efficient, this is not the banner to kind of summon on, in my opinion. Obviously, Vegeta will show up somewhere else down the line. Of course, same thing could be said for the Dokkan Fest Vegeta. Kui being a side banner, he will show up on all other banners going forward, so, I mean, we don't really have to worry about him. 21, eventually, she'll get an easy A maybe like a year or 2 down the line, so we can worry about her then, but she's going to be a while away. Same thing could be said for Turles. Blue Goku, we'll see an easy A hopefully next year, so, but for the time being, he's mid, so, I mean, those are the things to kind of look at, and those are the things that really make me say this banner is not worth summoning, in my personal opinion, and again, it's not a banner that I think anyone should really consider summoning on at the time being. In any case, that's going to be it for the vid. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like and also subscribe to the channel and comment down below what are your guys' thoughts on Vegeta's banner. If you guys have summoned for it, let me know how the summons have been as well for you guys, and also feel free to check out some of the other vids on my channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.